Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to be installing this Allen & Roth Gazebo. You've probably seen this at Lowe's. This is where I got it. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll also give you a link in the video description there. So in the installation manual, it'll give you a list of everything, which is very helpful, including the actual sizes of the hardware. Now, I would strongly recommend getting a drill like this. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's a 5mm Allen is what we're using, and the one that they give you in the kit's just the little Allen wrench. This definitely speeds things up. Of course, you're also going to need to get some step ladders. I had several, and you definitely need at least these 6-foot ones. So we're going to start with post A, and all 4 posts are the same, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. And then we're going to get our bracket B. So as you can see, we're going to slide it over the top, and eventually it's going to get stuck as it goes about halfway down here on the ledge, and that's just a decorative piece there. Next, we're going to take our panel C, which is this one, and this is a cover. And so this is coming from the bottom. So we're going to slide that one on, then take panel D. And as you can see, there's 2 holes on each side for D, and they're going to line up with the holes on A. This is our AA hardware, the most common smaller screws. And so I just flipped this around to make it line up a little bit better. And so we went ahead and put our AA bolts in. So just make sure you put both of these in. And if it's on its side, it'd probably be a little bit easier than how I had it. Next, we're getting our E and F panels, and then this K one will join them together. So these come in pairs. Grab all 4 of them, and we're going to lay them out. And so you want it so that the ledge side is facing towards you. And here's our K panel. And so as you see, it had the little notch in the top of it. So this is the hardware that we're going to use. This is the CC hardware. It's the middle-sized ones. So just make sure you're using these right size. You put the washer on one side, and on the other side you'll have the other nut and washer. So we're taking our K panel with the notch here. So we're just going to lift this up and slide it on. Okay, and then we're going to take the other end and we're going to line it up and we're going to slide it together as well. Then just make sure that the A-frame at the top, you can see there's a little notch. And so we just want to make sure that that lines up and slides together. Next, we're going to put in our hardware. So we're going to take the bolt with the washer on it and we're going to put it through. Then we're going to take our other washer and put it on the end. And then our nut, and we're going to put that one on the end there. So that will tie this all together. We're going to do the same thing at the top. We have the washer on our bolt as we put it through here. And then we're going to put our other washer and our nut on the back side. Once you get those tightened down, I actually used a 13mm for the nut, I think it was, and then that 5mm Allen for the actual bolt. So I tighten these down. If you do it with an impact, be careful that you don't do it too tight because it can bend the metal together. So just make sure that you get both of these snug. And then there's a cap that we'll put over that nut. Okay, so just repeat that for all of these, get them all assembled, and then we're going to go ahead and stand up our posts. So on the posts, what you're going to look for is look for the hole that's right here on the bottom. That's for a support that you'll see. So you want that kind of facing one way. And this is what the post should look like, where we can put a beam going this way and then a beam going that way to the left. On the A-frame, you're going to see on the bottom there's a little notch for a tab, and then there's also a place to put our screw in. So look at the top of the post. You'll see where that notch lines up and where the screw goes in. So we're going to go ahead and set these up apart, and this is where you'll definitely need help from a friend. And we're just basically setting the beam on here and putting the bolts in. So go all the way around and do all 4 corners and put all of these A-frames up. Next, we're going to find our pieces that are labeled J. There's 4 of them, and they just connect into each other. And so it's very easy. They just pop in. As you can see, there's a little ball here you can push down on, and they just click into place. So we're going to go ahead and build this. It's all 4 of them, just making a squared off frame. Next, we're going to take our panels labeled I. You can see there's a hole in the top. And so we're going to take this J frame that we put together. And as you can see, it just slides up on top on that A frame. And then we're going to lift this right up in, and they're all going to click in the same way. So that is very simple. As you can see, each of these I ones just go to each of the A frames and click into our J attachment. Next, we're going to take our one that's labeled G, and these are just little supports. As you can see, there's a little nub here, and this goes into the side corner. So we're going to line that up, and then we're going to take our bolts. See, there's the longest ones, the DD bolts, and they have a metal washer. And so they're just going to come in through the top here and into that G panel. Next, we're going to take our Z panel. It's just a little cover that goes on the corner of each of our A posts. And so you can see there's little channels and notches for it. So go ahead and slide that one in. Next comes in our H panel. It has a little nub coming out of the end of it, as you can see. And then on the other end, it has a hole. So this end lines up to our J panel again. And we're going down to the corner of our gazebo here. And that's where that slot will fall in. And so if you look at it here, the little nub comes right into the corner, and we'll just attach it with our AA screw. And so we have one on each corner here, just going down to the far corner. So here it is again. You can see we have that bolt in. It comes down here. There is a AA screw, the smallest screw, with a plastic washer that goes down into the channel. Next, we're taking our Y attachment here and putting all of our T panels into it. So it looks like these. They just slide in with the little button. Boom. Now we're going to lift that up, and we're going to put it here in each of the corners. And we're just putting the AA bolts into each of these corners onto our J bracket that we had made earlier. Okay, so this is what it should look like now. In our next step, we're going to take L. And so L will go halfway down that A-frame and come down to our supports like this, as you can see. And then M is the other one. Okay, next we're going to take our N beam here, and it's going to go on the very, very front. And so it has a little notch that goes into the corner. Again, this is our N1 and then our O, and these two will actually come together. Okay, so basically coming from each side here, from the left and the right, we're going to put these two panels together. As you can see, one goes under the other one, and then we're going to slide it into this beam, and then we're going to put our AA bolt in the top. Okay, once we drive this one down, then there is another AA bolt that we're going to put right here to help secure it. Now we're getting all four of our AC panels. They look like this, and they're going to go on the very top. So all these AC panels will just fit into place here at the top, and then we're going to take our AD trim strip, and so it's just going to go here with an AA screw going right into it. Next, we're going to assemble our weather vane. So the top part will just screw into the bottom part cap, and so now we're taking this cap and we're going to put it covering the very top of the roof where all those panels come together, and from the bottom we're taking our hook and we're screwing it together. Now we're going to move on to our roof panels. So you have a P and a Q. So this is what the P one looks like, and this is what the Q one looks like, and then the same panels RS. We're going to go with the P and the Q one first. So the P one we're going to put up against that notch there. And so this is the way it should look with these lines running down. And then there's a little hole here for a AA screw. And so what I did to hold it in place was I just put the AA screw in just slightly, like 2 revolutions is all. And then I brought up my next panel. And so then what I would do is bring up my next panel, the bigger panel, and I would put the screw in on its end, and that would hold it in place. So now that it's being held in place, I could come back and remove the other screw here and then line up those 2 panels and screw them together. Then you'll repeat the same panels R and S and just screw those ones in. Next, we're going to take our V panels. You can see they have a little notch on the edge of them. And so these are going to go on the very top. And so just make sure that that notch is going underneath the edges of the roof panels here. And for this one, we're going to use our BB bolts. And so it's a long one here. We'll put a washer on it, and it goes in the front. And then you have a regular AA smaller bolt for the back one. So remember, the BB ones are only at the front. Next, we're going to take these panels here, and I wasn't too happy with how these ones go in. They just fall down in here. So you just line them up on each of these nubs in the very center. And they came out kind of loose, to tell you the truth. So anyway, you just slide them into place and pull down on them. Now we're taking our W panels, and you can see they have a little V shape at the front of them. And so these are going to go down the channel here, and that little V shape goes into the notch right at the very top. And so then when you set these down, we're going to put our AA bolts into them, the smallest bolts. And here's our AB fixture that goes right on the edge like this. And then we're going to go ahead and put our AA bolts with a washer down on that one. So it says to use the plastic washer. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're new here, check the video description also. I'll probably anchor it to the cement and do some other update videos for it. But thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.